heavy desserts around the holidays and wintertime, it might be time for something a little simpler and a little lighter. This is a lemon raspberry cupcake, and what makes this especially good, other than the lemon and the raspberries, is that it is a diabetic recipe, and so it's one of those things that we can have a light, really satisfying dessert, but it still stays within a healthy range and within a healthy diet because it is a diabetic recipe. For this recipe, you'll need flour, Splenda, non-fat yogurt, raspberries, baking soda, baking powder, salt, lemon juice, vanilla, lemon zest, powdered sugar, eggs, non-fat buttermilk, and canola oil. The first thing that we're going to do, other than preheat the oven to 350, which I've already done, we're going to start adding in our flour. This recipe calls for 2 cups of flour, calls for 1 cup of Splenda. Splenda is a sugar substitute, and it is one that is stable for heat. And so that's one thing that's important to remember when you're using a sugar substitute is what are you going to be doing with that sugar substitute? If you're going to be heating it up, a lot of them don't work. Splenda is one that does. So we're going to add in those. We're going to get that blended. We're also going to add in a little bit of salt, half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda. And that was half a teaspoon of salt, so half of each. And we're going to get those blended very well. You always want to blend your dry ingredients before you put it in a baked good. That way it is evenly distributed. Okay, and we're just going to set that aside for now. We're going to get a very large bowl and we're going to start adding in some of our wet ingredients. And so we're going to start with the lemon juice. There's 3 tablespoons fresh lemon juice. Don't do the bottled, we want the fresh. We're also going to do some lemon zest, about, let me check my recipe, 2 teaspoons of lemon zest. Then we're going to go with our buttermilk. And this is a non-fat or a low-fat buttermilk. You can find it in the store, and so we still get the richness that the buttermilk supplies, but with less fat. We're also going to do a non-fat yogurt, about 1/3 cup of that. And the Greek-style non-fat yogurt is really the best to use in this recipe. Okay. And we're going to blend this just quickly with our blender. Okay, let's add in our oil real fast. Give that a beat. Okay. Adding in the oil and the buttermilk and the yogurt is going to make this a really moist and delicious cupcake. So that's one of the things to remember there. The next thing that we're going to do, and this is a little different, we're going to add in 1 egg. We're going to beat this. And then we're going to add in a little bit of our flour mixture, get that blended, then add in another egg, and then the rest of our flour mixture. So that's a little different than a lot of our normal cake or cupcake recipes, how those instructions go there. And you don't need to pre-beat the egg before you put it in. You can just crack it and put it in. All of our batter made, we're going to add in our fresh raspberries. And remember, this recipe does call for fresh raspberries. And if you did a frozen, it's going to add too much liquid to your cupcakes, and so you may not get the consistency, they may not make the way you want them to. Right now, raspberries are fairly high, but here before too long, raspberries are going to become in season. Our raspberries, our blueberries, all of those are going to become in season and go on sale for much less. Yes. The other thing to remember with raspberries and blueberries is they are really loaded with antioxidants. And so anytime we can incorporate berries into our diet, it's really good for us. It adds a lot of variety and adds a lot of stuff that's good for you. We're just going to kind of fold those in and kind of get them evenly distributed throughout the batter. Okay. And then we're going to fill up 12 muffin cups. This recipe makes 12 cupcakes. We're going to put them in the oven at 350 for about 25 to 30 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. So you do want to keep a close check on those. Pop them out of the oven and then we'll finish them off. We have our cupcakes out of the oven, and you can see they're a lovely golden color. The last thing that we want to do is sprinkle them with a little bit of powdered sugar just to finish them off. That's one thing that you can really do to sweets is instead of topping them with frostings or other syrupies, you can just dust them with something like a powdered sugar. And that really cuts the calories back. One of these cupcakes is about 165 calories and very little saturated fat. So they may be a little bit healthier choice for a sweet if you just need something light and sugary this spring. Be sure to come back to the Food Corner, part of newsstar.com, for more demonstrations and recipes. And if you have any questions, contact the Pottawatomie County OSU Extension Office. We'd like to send a great thanks to Rock Creek Baptist Church for letting us use their facilities today. And remember, eat better, eat together.